Hello, I'm Milton Ali.
And I'm Koya, the owner.
And we want to welcome you to the Investor Tribe podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Kentucky Private Lending. Go to them today. All right. And Koya, the owner.
Milton.
Like, I know you're out here owning.
I am. I'm doing something.
I saw you, you doing more than something. I saw you literally on Facebook and you were like, I got you got your first cup, which is conditional use permit.
Yes.
And you out here, and you did the Derby thing with
my goodness,
with that. How did that work out?
That was like such a crazy but fun time. It was like so last minute. It's like I got approved 2 weeks before Derby. I listed the Airbnb and got a booking like maybe 4 days before Derby. So wow. It got very hectic very quick.
So was it for the entire duration, for the entire time, or was it just for that weekend?
It was for the entire time. So yeah, I got booked for the entire, basically I believe it was like Thursday or Wednesday through Sunday. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty cool.
Okay, so how was the experience there? Now, do you have a staff that does the cleaning and the turning, or how do you work that out?
Definitely. So I have my cleaners, but actually since this was the first booking, I wanted to be there, be present.
Hands-on?
Yeah, I wanted to be a little hands-on, and I actually met the guests and had them a pack of beers, and they were very delighted, happy by that, and so yeah, I got a 5-star review. So hey, I'm happy.
Come on, 5-star
yeah.
review.
Yep,
Come on, 5-star review. I got 5-star reviews before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I did Uber.
Oh, hey, it counts.
Yes, that counts.
Them 5-star reviews. Yeah.
Yes, and I had a Hyundai. I was driving a Hyundai, and I did Uber, and I was doing oh my gosh. I got so many Uber stories. That's a separate podcast.
Goodness. Yeah.
So we're going to have to get on our channels, like our other channels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have Koya, the owner, and I got Ali Homes TV. So you know what? Remind me.
I gotta hear the Uber stories.
The Uber stories are crazy. And by that time we record that, I think we can get a little bit more into your Airbnb stories. Because I know you're gonna have some adventures. Because I got several friends that own Airbnbs, and in the short-term rental game, it's definitely an adventure.
Oh, 100%.
And
it's 100%.
That's super cool. And so I have been up to a lot more cooler things. So one of the flips that we had just completed and just put on the market got broken into.
Woo.
And so
that's way cooler than my story.
Well, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. It's not cool at all. So one of the flips got broken into, and what ended up happening, Koya, was we found out, because over that Derby weekend, we found out that we did not find out until Monday.
Oh.
And someone said, "Hey, do you know that your deadbolt is missing?" And I said, well, it shouldn't be.
Right.
It shouldn't be. And someone said, and hey, will there be appliances with this listing?
Oh.
And my heart just started beating like 1,000 beats per minute.
That is so annoying.
I'm beating like, oh my gosh, I thought it was crazy. So basically, I had brought my daughter home. I literally was going to leave her there and just drive out to the listing. And I met the seller at the listing. I brought a whole bunch of things. We cleaned up the house. Somebody was trying to see it. I canceled showing. Somebody was trying to see it. It was just a crazy scene. However, what was so cool was the neighbors were like, oh my gosh, this happened. So now the neighbors are extra vigilant and are going to be watching our home.
Well, that's so good.
So,
that is great.
And we were like, and we know it's not indicative of the area, but it's so important that when you have a flip and when you are working on flips, you can't let the grass get too tall. You can't make it look like, and we had the grass too tall. So it was a few
Okay.
telltale signs that it looked abandoned. So people look for
Mhm.
opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't think
100%.
it's indicative of the area per se,
Mhm.
but I think it was just someone being opportunistic.
100%.
And the neighbors really not paying attention because one neighbor was like, well, I normally hang out on the porch, but I didn't hang out on the porch because I went out with my girlfriends at night.
Mm.
And one other neighbor was like, well, I thought I saw something, but I didn't really know how to put two and two
Right,
together. So
right.
now when we're talking to the neighbors, now everyone is going to be extra vigilant.
Well, that's great.
So
That's
shout
great.
out to the neighbors, to
Yeah.
nosy neighbors, because
Those are the
nosy
best.
neighbors, oh my gosh, they help you out so much.
They are the
I
best.
remember I sold you this house, and I think you got to know the neighbors,
Yep.
and everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, so this is what's going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
This is what's going on with your house." And
Yeah.
it's almost like they're because I know you gave them your number
Oh,
and was like,
100%.
"Hey, call me if you see anything suspicious."
100%. And they're great. Yeah.
See,
Those neighbors till this day
no,
are my favorite.
shout
So
out to the nosy
yes,
neighbors.
yes.
And
They will
so
let you know.
see, so that's super cool. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to our Legal for Less segment, and we'll be right back. Hello, this is Milton Ali with the Investor Tribe podcast. And I have Renee Buster with us today. And she owns several companies, and she is an amazing expert. She's been a paralegal for over 20 years, and she is going to really help us today because
if you're an investor, you gotta stay legal for less.
So, Renee, I really want to thank you. And I want you in the next 5 minutes to distill your 35 to 50, 75 years of experience. If you can you break all of it down in 7 minutes or share with us what are your thoughts about how we can stay legal for less?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me. I love being here. So no, I can't distill my my experience.
So
into
maybe you'll
5
go with
minutes
the
or
other one.
less. Yeah.
Maybe you just go with the other one.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about some privacy planning, shall
Okay,
we?
great.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So privacy planning is a strategy that business owners and real estate investors should use, mostly to keep their private, non-public information exactly that, private and non-public.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
It's more like you increase your wealth so you can increase your stealth.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And there's lots of ways that you can do that, and there's lots of reasons why you should do that. And in most cases, it's better to plan ahead, right? As with most things in life, if you plan ahead, you're going to have a better success
I love
than
that.
if you wait until you're in crisis mode.
Okay. Can you provide an example of what that would look like? And so, one of the things that immediately comes to mind is if you have a group of properties, you can place them in a trust so that it's not like they know that Milton Ali owns 3 homes on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Am I tracking there?
Correct.
Okay.
You can use a variety of entities, an LLC, corporation, in addition to trusts. There's lots of vehicles that you can use, but they all have means for which to make sure that the owner's public, non-private information, private, non-public information
Right.
is obscured from the public view.
Okay. And why would I want to do that? And why would kind of get into the why I would, because I have a lot of clients that just have an LLC
Mm-hmm.
and they own their portfolio of homes. They own maybe 10, 15 homes,
Right.
and it's not a problem. So why would I want to keep my public information private?
So keep in mind that human beings are strange creatures, and we cannot predict how people are going to behave. We cannot predict what they're going to think.
So does strangely mean litigious?
Sometimes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes people just don't think things through.
Okay.
Sometimes people think something is going to be a great idea, and then they execute the plan, and it wasn't such a great idea. Like the lady who showed up on my doorstep of my home looking for a landlord so she could advocate on behalf of her mother who had been denied housing.
Oh.
Yeah. So she came to
Okay.
my house looking for my client, and my daughter literally had to push her out of our door. It became a safety issue. So it's not
Okay.
only about liability, it's not only about keeping bad actors from
Yeah.
trying stuff that they shouldn't, right? Some people, when they're backed against a wall or they feel traumatized, they may act violently. Why would you take a chance with your family for that to happen when you could very easily find a third party to do that
Wow.
for you?
Wow. So your safety as a landlord could very well be at risk.
Absolutely.
And that is a little scary.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why you would want your public information a little bit more private.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And so that does make sense. And so I definitely appreciate that. And this has been an episode of
If you're an investor, you gotta stay legal for less.
And we're back. And so today's episode, which is super cool, you can go see us. Before we even get to today's episode, you're going to really love this. You can go to see us on socials. You can go to invtribe.com. You can go to invtribe on all socials. You can go
All socials.
all socials. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can please like and subscribe to all of our socials today. Today's episode is, if you are still flipping homes like it's 2021, you are about to get crushed and you're losing money and you just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to hit you with something. Did you know that the average flip has a gross profit of about 28%?
No, I did not.
So over the last year, the average gross
Mm-hmm.
on a flip is about 28%. Net turns to about 16 to 17%.
Wow.
Okay. So to kind of put that in perspective, if you bought a house, okay, so you follow the rule that we learned in Flip Savvy, and Flip Savvy is a course that the Investor Tribe has taught over 100 students over time. We know that we are only supposed to buy on a 70% rule, okay?
Definitely.
Or in some cases, 65% rule, which means you have to be all in on a flip between no more than 65% of the after repair value. So let's break those numbers down. If the ARV is $100,000,
100,000.
right? 100,000, that means my renovation, my purchase price, and holding costs cannot be a dime over $65,000. So that means I'm probably going to have to buy the house for about $30,000. I'm going to have to put about 30, I'm going to put 30 in it, and I got 5,000 in holding costs and different kind of ancillary costs that goes into it, right? So on the other side of that, right, what I do is I'm thinking about how I'm going to have now in this case, I have a gross margin of roughly 35%, right? Now I have to pay the real estate agent that worked very hard for me. I have to pay some closing costs because that is going to come into play. And so you think about that, that might turn to roughly be 7 to 8%. So now my margin is on the gross margin side is around 28%. So $28,000.
Okay.
Well, if I have taxes to pay on that money, if I have anything else, if something came up and I had to, do a last minute, I have to pay someone to do something for me. And so that net profit tends to be around 18 to 19%. And sometimes, in some cases, 18, 19, but I've been seeing 16 to 17% on the gross, on the gross profit on a property. So that means when you are all said and done, you made around $17,000, $18,000 on a flip that you can. Who's making $17,000, $18,000 in a matter of a couple of months? I think that's the positive thing.
That's the point.
Jack May had told me, he's a CREA member, super cool guy. He had told me, he said, look, Milton, who is making this kind of money right now? Who's making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 right now?
Yeah.
Who do you know that works a job, that goes to work every day, and going to come home in a matter of, and at one time get a check for $17,000, $18,000?
That is true.
Put life in perspective. And so it does. And so that is what it did for me. And so what's happening though, and what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a shift occur in the market. And most people are looking at it from the standpoint of 2021, where it was, we're going to follow the 70% rule, and we're going to, which is the same math that we talked about, but instead of 65, it's 70% because housing is going up. More people, more wholesalers, more real estate agents, more people are walking with their hands out saying, I have money for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
so it's just, so more people are saying, I have money for you. So what is that distress? That distressed seller doesn't feel so distressed.
Right.
So they're thinking, oh, I got money. So you have money, you have money, you have money. You're competing. You're going to spend more money. It's supply and demand. And right now, the demand for distressed homes is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
I was at a house the other day, and I was at a house the other day, and I'll tell you, this house was stinky. Okay. So the house was horrific. The house, and it was raining. It never goes well when a house is really bad and the gnats are flying.
Oh gosh.
And you can tell that the gnats are just kind of there. They're stationary. They have no fear.
Yeah, they've been there for a while.
They've been there for a while, and they're big.
Oh, they've been eating, feasting.
And so this house was nasty. Okay. Like, you couldn't touch anything.
Yeah, that's the best thing
you
to buy.
Didn't want to, but those are the best houses.
Yeah, that's the best one to buy.
And then you can't. So it's hard. Have you ever toured a house and it was so bad that your clothes smelled like it?
Oh my goodness, yes, make you want to throw the clothes away.
So I have Ozium, and this is not an ad for them, but I have Ozium. So go cop you some Ozium. It's a blue can. And I have it in my truck now. Like, you literally just spray yourself when you're done. Like, if you're in a smoky home, it's the same difference. It's the same thing, right? So if you're in a smoky home, you kind of can do that. But back to this horrific, stinky, terrible house, okay? So I'm at this stinky, terrible house, and I mean, it was hard to walk through. Even the guy trying to sell the house stood outside the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
he wanted nothing to do with it. But people were in that house walking around. Guess how many people were at this house?
4.
At a 0. It was 40 people at this house.
40 people? Wow.
It was 40 people at this stinky house.
All looking for at this gnat infested.
Yes.
Oh my
so
goodness.
What does that tell me? That tells me that the demand is really high. Demand is high.
It's not much out there.
You're right. Right? So supply and demand. Right. It's not that much out there. And the margins were horrific. And I called, and the price was around $180 for this messed up house. And the guy said, yeah, my lowest offer is going to be probably a little over $210,000.
Wow.
The ARV was about $300,000.
Wow.
ARV was literally $300,000. So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing that for a couple of reasons. We're seeing that happen because some people are willing to take lower margins on flips because you have faithful people that works for you. How long have your contractors worked for you?
4 years now.
See, I have had contractors for 3 to 4 years, and something happens to my contractors after 3 to 4 years. They either become more expensive. I know, right? Knock on,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's glass. This ain't even that to knock on, but
right. And so it's either one thing or another happens. It's either that something happens where it becomes where you are that you lose your people because they become too expensive.
Yeah.
Right. You either lose good talent because something happens. Yeah. Like if they go through a divorce, or if they have too many kids, or something, life event occurs, so you don't have those people anymore. But the reason why a lot of larger flippers are willing to take hits on the margin is just to keep their people employed.
Yep.
Right. And so sometimes it's just like, because when you did your short-term rental, it was like, okay, it was a job for you to give your guys.
Yep.
right? So it was just
100%.
like, because I don't think, did you buy anything recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it was just getting that
Yeah.
together, and I think that was because you were getting that together, so it was just like, oh, okay, let's just go ahead and,
Yeah.
but you kept those guys to work,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
So when you think about the reasons why people are willing to take less margin is to keep their people working, because I'll tell you how hard it is to find new good people.
Yes.
Right? To find good new people is more expensive than keeping the good people that you already have. So that's one factor. The other factor is that there's just a heavy demand for investors that want to flip houses. And they're not necessarily buying and holding because holding costs is more expensive.
Yes.
Now, the good thing about Louisville is that we are below 10% in vacancy, right? But at the same time, what's happening is there are a lot of people that are looking to flip because they want out of that hard money, or they want to get their money back, or they're trying to do capital raise for other projects. However, on the other side of that ARV is a more informed and selective buyer. Real estate agents are going to call them picky. Right now, the buying pool that exists in the market is hyper selective. So when they're very picky and they're trying to figure it out, they're trying to make their dollar stretch very far.
Of course.
And so what's happening is that investors are still thinking it's 2021 where you can get those incredible margins.
Yeah.
Where there is a gross margin of about 30, 30 plus percent.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
When the real net margin is somewhere closer to where the new gross margin, that's getting ready to be a squeeze on margins due to the supply that's out here and due to the demand that's out there.
Definitely.
And so what you're going to see is, quite frankly, you're going to see a margin squeeze for a lot of these different people.
And do you think interest rates impacted at all? Because 2021, I feel like that was 3 and 4% too.
Well, yes, of course. So
right.
Thank you for bringing that up, because interest rates were half of what they were 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about how the cost of money, it was cheap capital out here. It was the cost of money was very cheap. So I can afford to pay more for a property because I knew my interest rate was going to be lower and I can pay less. And I had less monthly burn on cash. And so today it is twice as much. It was 3% back then. Now it's 6%.
Yeah,
6.5 in some cases, right? So I do think that there is a very big deal when it comes to what we're navigating as the new market.
Yeah.
And now that you have 6%, and if you have an investment property, you're paying anywhere from close to 7 to 8%.
Yeah.
In some cases, 9% for an investment loan. And so that loan, it affects your PITI, which means that it affects, and PITI is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And when you are paying a higher PITI, what's happening is that you're making less money. Now, it's encouraging that the rents are going up, right? And I also looked up something before the show. The average rent right now is about $1,400.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say 15, but that makes sense.
Yes, and so it's a little over 14. And so when you think about how that average rent in Louisville is about $1,400, that's absolutely, so it's affordable for a lot of people that are thinking, but a lot of those people don't want where $1,400 rents are.
Right. 100%. 100%.
They don't want to live where the $1,400 rents are.
That's facts, yeah.
Right? And so it's I think it's a new day where people are paying more for rent in different areas because everything is price and area centric. Now, you can find a $1,600 rent in a area that's maybe like a area, but you cannot buy a home in that same area.
Oh no.
For nowhere near the rent.
And that might be the 1 bedroom in the
And that is right. That might be a
So,
1 to 2 bedroom.
1 to 2.
I sold a house to a couple that were paying $1,600 a month for a 1 bedroom apartment. It was a
Wow.
family with their child, and they were looking to buy a home, and they said, we want to stay within our $1,600 to $1,800 range.
Oh, wow.
And so they end up buying in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
And so, because they
Outside
wanted to
of the
find
city.
some
Yeah.
outside of the city, they said,
Wow.
well, let's just buy something. And they literally, it was just them 3. And they said, we'll just make the half-hour commute to
That's
work
what I was
every
going
day.
to say, the longer commute. Yeah.
So people are making choices, and they're
Yeah.
very selective about where they want to live and who they want to live around, what amenities are there. And there's a lot of different choice. And homes are selling for about anywhere from 95 to 99% of sales price.
So it's still
So-
not much of a discount.
So it's not much of a discount, because the way that homes are selling right now. Okay, let me give you some perspective on this.
Okay.
So right now there's well over 3,300 homes on the market.
Okay.
You know, as we record this, we're in May, middle of May.
Okay.
And there's about 3,300 homes, a little over 3,300 homes. You want to know how many homes have been on the market for 30 days or more?
You want me to guess?
I do.
Okay. I'm gonna say 2,000 of those homes.
Yeah, about that.
Okay.
1920.
Oh wow. Oh, look at that.
I told my wife that.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, 1920. Yeah. If you know, you know." But and so basically, it was it was about 1,920 homes. So literally over half.
Oh wow.
Over half of the homes that are on the market right now
Mhm.
have been on the market for over 30 days. So what
Wow.
is that saying? That's saying that the sellers are a bit recalcitrant and the buyers are hyper selective, and something has to give. So there's this tension. There's a
That's
tension
exactly.
that we have to navigate. And it's really good to have good people in your life. Like if you have a good agent, if you have a good if you have someone who knows the market in your life to help break some of this down. This is what we do with the Investor Tribe every week. You can go to imvtribe.com and you will see different blogs on this. We have been ringing this bell for months now.
Yes.
We have been talking to people months right now. So if you're seeing a gap, buyers are hyper selective. Okay.
Yes.
Investors are looking for deals and still buying deals that lack margin. Right? They're still buying deals because they have to keep their people.
Yes.
Right? And they're willing to take less deals. Where's the gap? Where's the gap?
Yeah.
The gap, I'll break it down. The gap right now is for you to capture and hold your equity. Buy and hold is where you're going to have to do it. And one of the coolest ways that you can do that, there's several capture and hold strategies. You can even go to our pod where we even talk about, we literally just do a whole 10 minutes just on house hacking.
House hacking. Yep.
Because that allows you to capture the equity. Right? And have you ever sold any of the homes that you house hacked?
No.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
No,
right?
I have not.
And so you were able to get into house hacking. And so if you can speak to some of the equity positions you have as far as like when you bought compared to now.
Definitely. So I know one of my properties I actually got in 2021.
Okay.
And
so
still
you,
own.
yeah,
So that's tons of equity.
Right.
Yeah. So that one has tons of equity. But I really think, like you mentioned, house hacking, buying, holding, and doing those renovations, it forces the equity to be in the house. Like,
right.
So I've used equity in ways from my house hacks through HELOCs and refinancing. And that's how I've been able to get that money out without having to sell.
See, I love that. And so most people, they buy a home, they spend time, they build equity, and then they immediately sell the home. They take that equity and they buy a car with it. But I bought my wife a car with cash, so we bought with cash, right? But then what else we do? We bought another home. So we rolled that equity into another property. Right. And so then you're able, and that's the American dream, okay? And that's the American dream. Just to be clear, that is the American dream, for you to buy your home. A lot of investors don't own a home. And this
100%.
this is anecdotal, but I talk to a lot of investors that do not own their own home.
Yeah.
So it's even my encouragement that you buy a home. It's not going to be your dream home.
Yeah.
Buy your home, pay down the equity. It's like a forced savings, and get into the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Get into the game. And
100%.
then you build that equity, you take that equity, and then you roll it into another property, either through a HELOC or through a sale. It's your choice, but get into the game. I can't stress that enough. So house hacking is one of the ways that people are capturing and holding. Another way to do it is to literally take it. You may only have to live there for 1 year or 2 years, but just work on the property yourself.
I think the 2 year it's similar to house hack, but not exactly. But you hold the house for 2 years, you buy, live in it for 2 years, and then you sell, because now you don't get capital gain tax.
Right. And so right. And then while you're living there, it's
growing up because the equity's growing.
You're forcing the appreciation as well, because you're making the improvements.
Right.
You
gotta make the improvements.
You do. You can't just put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
And the improvements tend to come out better because you live there.
Right.
Right? Because you live there, and because you care, and because you have to look at it every day.
You're not going to be cheap.
At all.
That's the key thing.
All. That's so true. At all. You're not going to be cheap at all. You're going to be thinking, okay, you know what? I need to make sure that this looks great. Why? Because I live here, and I'm going to be in this particular house every single day, and I got to take a look at it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so what we're going to do is, what makes that so cool is that this is one of the ways that you can capture and hold. We talked about house hacking. We talked about being able to live in the property for a couple of years. What is another way that we can maybe buy and hold to, force appreciation and capture the equity? One of the ways that you capture and hold is you create a midterm rental.
Oh, okay.
And so you can do a midterm rental. Or you can do a short-term rental.
Or short-term, yes.
Right? So
I was literally going to say that, because I've actually had a house where I have Airbnb the basement only. Where I'm living in the top level, and I just Airbnb the basement. So that's a way to do it too.
So so there is a lot of opportunity there, because a midterm rental, it allows you to cash flow.
Yes.
It allows you to cash flow. And for you to cash flow, because what's the vacancy on your other Airbnb?
I'm none right now, so I'm pretty booked.
Over the year.
Over the years. Over the year, I say it's booked half of the month.
Okay, so you're looking at a 50% vacancy?
50%.
Yeah, and so that still, does that cover cost?
Yes.
I would imagine that it's, even at a 50% vacancy, you're still covering costs.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then you're in very good shape.
Yes.
When you're thinking about short-term and mid-term rentals, that's another way where you can get ahead of the game.
100%.
And so I really do think that's a real good look.
Yeah.
And so right now, if you're still flipping like it's 2021, I really advise and I highly suggest that you really do a couple of things. Adjust your strategy. Make sure that you buy right. Make sure you have good talent, but the way you keep talent is through loyalty. And so sometimes you may have to take less margin to keep your people engaged. I know a lot of people, because when you get new people, then what tends to happen is that you're searching for emergency talent, and that's always more expensive. So buy right. Be sure that you have a plan, an exit strategy to be able to exit out of that property, whether it's a short-term rental, whether it's a long-term, whether it's a mid-term. Think that through. Find some really good people that is in your circle, in your life. You can go to many different groups, and a lot of people have experiences. You can hit us up on the tribe. You can join our private Facebook group with over 1,500 people, and you can ask questions there, and you can always get your input and always get some advice and different things like that. And so there is so much that you can gain and glean from the tribe. You can still visit us, and we're going to encourage you to see us at we have $1 million panel coming up.
Yes,
Which
we
is
do.
crazy. We got the $1 million panel coming up, and you can go to imvtribe.com, learn about our meetups.
And on Wednesdays.
Yes, so we do have our networking group that's about twice a month. That's out in Prospect in Oldham County. And if you want to start a networking group, just let us know. Hit us up at admin@yourinvestortribe.com. That's admin@yourinvestortribe.com. You can also hit us up at INV Tribe on all social media. Go to imvtribe.com so that you can learn more about us today. And I'm Milton Ali.
I'm Koya, the owner.
And we're going to catch you again on the next Investor Tribe episode.
Watch the Investor Tribe podcast every Monday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern.